Happy New Year everyone! Nagbabalik na naman ang inyong mga sportito para magbigay ng kanya-kanya mga opinion tungkol sa mga nangyayari sa mundo ng sports. This is Laro-Laro lang. Bago tayo magpatuloy, pakikilala ko muna ang inyong mga sportito ngayong gabi. Baka nakalimutan nyo na kasi kami. I'm Chief Bisdak Joel Parcon at kasama natin as always ang expert sa pagmimiron, si Coach Miron, Noy Africa.
Magandang gabi, Happy New Year.
Andito din si Mr. Excited, Gary Villanueva.
Hello, good evening, good morning.
At hindi magpapahuli, si Dom Romantico Farley Aguila.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. What's up? Kamusta?
Good evening ko sa mga televiewers.
Classic Farley Aguila. Kamusta mga sportito? Medyo napatagal yung pagpahinga natin mula sa spotlight, no? Anong mga nangyari sa inyo during that time?
Spotlight, ha?
Spotlight o ring light?
Ring light.
Spotlight.
Ako nasa Canada ko, pare.
Ganun pa rin. Ha? Talaga? This entire time? Akala namin nandito ka lang.
Hindi. Nalipot ako. Sa Canada na ako.
Any new things?
Nasa San Juan pa din.
Nasa San Juan pa din. San Juan del Sur.
Ako, right off the bat, sabihin ko lang na parang wala nang bago eh. Dumagdag pa ang COVID sa Pilipinas, saka sa Canada.
Kaya parang
Groundhog Day. Ano ba yan?
Grabe.
Kaya ba tayo bumalik?
Request mo na yung request mo, mag-seryosoy na natin itong pandemya to, hindi sila nakikinig.
Wala talaga eh, wala talaga. Kasi hindi tayo tumuloy-tuloy eh, walang nagseryoso nung pandemya. Hindi tumuloy yung messaging natin eh.
Nawala yung reminder eh.
Oo, at saka dami nating request in back to public demand, mga tatlo yung nag-request. Bumalik daw tayo.
Sa ating apat, yung isa ayaw pa.
Tayo lang yun. Yung isa ayaw pa. Aminin ng isa ayaw pa.
Kaya nga tayo bumalik, wala na naman tayo magawa eh.
Oo nga. Nagpapabisi na naman. Okay, mukhang marami-rami na rin talagang mga pinagkakaabalahan ng inyong mga sportito during the hiatus. Pero andito na naman kami, manggugulo na naman kami sa inyo. For this episode, wala muna kaming guguluhing special guest, pero pag-uusapan muna namin ang iba't ibang topics na bumalabog sa sports na aming mga pinapanood. Isa na namang karambola. Our topics for this episode range from the NBA, the PBA, and we might even touch a bit on some recent controversy involving one of our national athletes. So, wag na nating patagalin pa. Yung first topic natin mga sportito, it's got something to do with the NBA. Medyo nalalapit na kasi tayo sa halfway point ng season. Isang season na naman na tinamaan ng COVID. Players, coaches, even other staff members of the teams have been in and out of what they now call the health and safety protocols. Kayo, how are you guys finding the season so far? Na-enjoy niyo pa ba yung pagnood ng NBA? Anyone can answer?
For as long as naglalaro pa sila at may napapanood pa naman, okay naman. I mean, they have a system in place na even if they don't hit, they don't have the minimum number of players, they don't play. They postpone the games, diba? They are now allowed to give more 10-day contracts, I think.
Yeah. To keep the I think that's was just 3 in a game to make sure that umabot sila ng the minimum, which is 8 players, right?
So may maximum na 3. Yung 3 ano pala?
I think if I heard correctly, 3 hardship, they call it hardship or 10-day contracts, diba? Well, speaking for the home court, ang tinamaan na, tama sila, gusto namin napapalot. Ang problema, like the other day, I forgot, a week or 2 ago, nung bago pa lang yung rule na i-implement about the hardship rule. The Raptors were, my team, the Raptors.
Your team? Team owner ka na pala.
Oo. Pero kasi, like, out of the 8 that played, I think 3 were hardship, the rest were GD. Tapos 2 regular lang o 3 regular lang. The regular lang was, I think, Watanabe, one of the other guys, Champagne, parang gano'n yung pangalan niya. Hindi ko nga kilala eh. And then one more, and the rest were GD guys.
Wow.
Siyempre, tambak. ang Raptors, sumabot ng mga 4th year. Parang season high, tambak ata 30 or 40 points. At the same time, sino Watanabe, time to shine. 30 points ata sila ginawa. He jumped center. Siya nag-center ng game. Pero I think that was in the early stages, no? And saka earlier than that, marami rin mga games na I think most of the people were like Brooklyn, the high-profile teams were hit. Buti na lang ngayon yata nakapag-adjust na, di ba? So nakakapag-8 players na sila at lahat. So, siguro one note lang, out of the mga players sa lahat ng when I watch, pag pinapagod, sino yung mga, hindi yung mga starter, di ba? It's lang notable na hindi siya starter pero NBA veteran na nakabalik who has made an impact so far. Indiana, si Lance
Stephenson. Yeah.
I was not against Brooklyn when Kyrie came back. He scored 24 points in the first quarter.
20. He scored 20.
20, sorry. Now, when I was watching it, ayun, pasunod-sunod siya talaga.
Parang at home, no? At home siya sa Indiana talaga. Parang walang nagbago mula dun sa laro niya.
Naisip ko agad sila I'm sure sila kapal ng mukha nito.
Pasok naman ng pasok.
The following game, he had a career high in
assists naman.
Assists naman bigla, di ba? So, good for these old players who are trying to adjust to their new teams. Parang nire-realize na, minsan lang itong chance ito. Let's make the opportunity of it, di ba? Among the younger players, some of them have been making names for themselves also from manghalong G League tsaka anong tawag doon, G League and the 10-day contract, di ba? So,
mga call-ups.
It's okay. Ngayon, some starters sa Lakers, Stanley Johnson, galing din yata ng 10-day contract.
10-day contract din, hardship din galing yan. Okay,
first round pick.
Mula sa Pistons. Ikaw, Farls, na-enjoy mo pa ba yung pagnood mo ng NBA?
Oo, dahil medyo maganda mga pili natin ngayon.
Mga pili? Dahil sa mga pinipili?
Yung namimili ako ng laro dahil NBA League Pass eh. So, okay naman. So far. Pero ano, di ba, last year, ang unang-una nagkaroon ng positive na case si Utah, di ba?
Si Gobert. Last year, 2 years
ngayon,
ago.
Ngayon, last ng Utah na team na nagkaroon. Pero una pa rin siya ata.
Siya nagkaroon, di ba?
Sa Utah.
Gusto niya kasi siya leader daw ng team.
At least hindi na siya nang hawak-hawak ng mga microphone.
Yun. So, okay naman.
Some teams have been hit harder than COVID than other teams for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, if you mentioned nga, 3 lang ang regular ng Toronto. May ano po ba ibang teams na tinamaan?
Ngayon medyo okay na sila. I remember Chicago at one point, si Ball, si DeRozan. I think DeRozan, basta marami sa kanila. I remember na parang na protocols.
They postponed the game.
Postponed talaga.
Di ba? Even si The King na, di ba? Pero yung mga false positive nila. Pero it's mostly false positive. Yun ang okay doon eh. The moment na negative, walang pake. Ano kagad, di ba? Shelve mo natin maging positive. I mean, talagang, and then they go through the protocol. So at least, that's in place already.
Yeah.
At least in terms of that.
Yeah. Do you think, ito, medyo hot take siya. Do you think na ginagamit ng ibang teams ngayon ang health and safety protocols para mag-load management?
You know, I don't know kasi kung meron silang protocol for that eh. Baka may protocol na in general. Ewan ko kung nag-isutan nila yun. I don't know.
Diba?
Huwag naman sana.
Parang, para matago na, ay, hindi naman hindi, may
no, pero, safety. Kasi pare, ako naisip ko lang, bakit hindi? Kasi pag sila ng health and safety protocols, automatic 5 days eh.
Yeah.
If you want to arrest a player, you want to arrest, usually pag yung mga stars, diba? 1 day to game, 1 day or 2 days. Like 5 days might be a pretty long time. In that sense. Diba? To be... Tapos pucha, baka mamaya matamaan nga talaga. Makarma, ali pa. So, pwede, pero ako, huwag na lang. Baka mamaya, sayang din yung 5 days na yun, diba? Saka extra bayad siya kasi mag-hire ka ng 10-day contract kung sakali. Diba kung kulangin sa roster. So, justice-wise ganun.
So it's not good business-wise.
I don't think it's good business-wise. And I think at this stage, alam ko, playoffs are not around the corner pero sumisilip na. Diba dahan-dahan na dapat mag-make ang move ng mga players after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the right time to start resting players. Tama ba ako? Lalo na in the... Alam ko mas medyo angat-ata ang play teams sa East right now. I mean, mas dikit-dikit ata ang teams sa West as compared to the East yata. Tama ba? Papare-pareho lang ba? Coach to, ano ba? Pare-pareho lang ba?
Alam, tanong natin si Marley.
Ne, ikaw coach, you were starting to say something kanina.
And I don't think they're using the health and safety protocols. Dahil first things first, I think if you go into the health and safety protocols, there will be some monitoring in place. So you'd have to stay home. I would think you'd have to be quarantined. So medyo hassle siya para lang mag-load management. Just declare an injury, rest your player. I think that's way easier.
Pero if you notice, wala nang nagsasabi na not going to play because of load management. Ngayon. Ako personally, wala na ako naririnig.
Parang iba yung term na ginamit nila, di ba? Parang injury something.
Non-COVID illness.
Additional na information na dinagdag.
Non-COVID injury ata ang term.
Yaw.
Ako ba?
Okay.
Well, baka tama rin si Chief. I don't know. Well, baka sinabihan din ng... Actually, pwede din. Sabi mo, pahinga ka doon, sabi mo COVID. It doesn't do rin, di ba? I mean, wala mo. Ginagano. Ang gagawa lang naman si Popovich. Hindi, pati mga coaches tinatamaan, di ba?
Oo.
Si Google, coach ng Milwaukee, coach ng Atlanta.
Yeah.
Pero kasi, if they go into health and safety protocols, di sila pwede pumunta ng facility, hindi sila pwede pumunta ng venue. As opposed to pag load management lang, pwede.
True. Yun yung difference. Kumbaga day off lang talaga yung load management. From that side of the spectrum, punta naman tayo dun sa kabila. Na-mention na ni Gary na si Lance Stephenson is one of the players who have surprised. I don't know if you got surprised by his performance as one of the hardship players, no? Are there any other players that you guys have seen na sumurpresa sa atin sa performance nila as a hardship signee?
I don't know any of these guys, honestly. Except pinapanood ko na yun sa Indiana. Nag-start yung meron pala silang play na Kiefer Sykes. Sino siya? Kiefer Sykes. So, and then there were a couple of other names na obviously they were NBA from the start. But none so far na bago, maybe except for the notable ones yan. Si Mario Chalmers was called up, di ba?
Yeah, kamusta siya? Hindi ko siya napapansin.
Hindi ko na ba yan eh. Oh, and then alam ko si Stephenson was bounced around from one team to another. Isaiah Thomas.
Yun ang nagtataka ko, Isaiah Thomas.
Diba?
Wala pa rin.
Hindi siya tumatagal, no?
And Denver after 10 days, you think that in Sacramento ata.
Nagdalas na tapos after one game.
Dallas ko na.
COVID. So wala na yung 10 days na.
Kami Ninoy, gumawa kami ng list na sino yung mga players na sanang bumalik.
Sino yung mga sana? Yun, magandang yun. Sino yung...
Siyempre kami Ninoy, bias kami, Jeremy Lin.
Nga, Jeremy Lin, no? Bakit wala si Jeremy?
Sino pa isang white boy, si Jimmer Fredette. Di ba ganyan? Di ba the legends? Nasa Asia lahat, di ba?
Pero nasa CBA ba siya, no? Parang nasa CBA silang dalawa, no?
Yeah, that's why if you come from another country, I think the 10-day contract doesn't make sense. You're quarantined, di ba? So, unless you're given a guarantee that you'll be given more than 10 days, it's not worth it for them. But who knows, malay mo. Tinatawagan, pero sayang na. So, sino pa yung maraming players abroad na you wish they'd come back?
Si Jason Kidd, inopera niya si Dirk Nowitzki, di ba?
Ayun!
Nung retirement.
Pwede.
10 days.
Talaga, pababalikin mo pa si Nowitzki?
Si J.R. Smith to, nagkikita yan.
Nga, nag-aantay pa rin. Pero, nag-dean's list siya.
Nag-golfer.
Oo.
Parang Iman Shumpert, nagkikita rin ng mga tao. So, may mga fringe veterans na iintay.
So, yun. Okay. Ngayon, dun sa mga sino sa tingin ninyo ang mga players na hindi hardship, hindi part ng hardship na naka-benefit dahil dito sa COVID. Yan, na-mention ni ni Gary, si Watanabe. Sino pa mga ibang nabigyan ng chance ngayon na magpakitang gilas dahil wala yung mga ano nila?
Ako, fan, honestly, ito, baka matawa kayo sa rating ko. Honestly, current players, the king.
Why so? Why so?
FPJ?
Well, I don't know. Dahil ngayon, diba, some of their regular... Well, diba, parang COVID-related yung mga ibang injuries na bigla siya nag-play center because of all the, of all the injuries that they've been having or the protocols and everything. Bigla siya lang nagsisentro ngayon and has been playing better than, forced to good siya eh. But they still can't 37. Parang feeling ko sulog sa playoffs to.
Technically, hindi naman siya naglalaro dahil injured yung mga sentro nila. Dahil naglalaro naman si Howard.
Nandiyan
DNP lang eh.
Okay.
DNP lang.
Anthony Davis lang. I think
Jordan.
Okay.
Tactical decision to play.
Tactical decision na yan.
DNP lang yung dalawa eh, madalas.
Bumubuo lang ng resume yan.
May nabasa nga ako, di ba?
But he will be in the discussion for MVP for
Talaga? You think so, Noy?
Yes.
Nah.
For sure.
Why? Because of the narrative. More than anything else, it's the narrative.
It's the name, pare. You can't, unless his game really deteriorates, which I think it has.
Yeah.
But
Pero he's been averaging 30 plus the past couple of weeks.
That's why siguro yung nag-spark sa isip ko na his parang resurgence and whatever. Pag pinapanood ko siya, iba na talaga yung laro niya, but he gets the points and the job done pa rin.
And he still gets enough highlights to be talked about.
But unfortunately, he takes plays off para magpahinga, picks his spots. Unfortunately, his teammates still think na kaya pa rin ng lahat. Unfortunately, na rin na kaya. And alam mo, honestly, ang feeling ko lang, there was a game against Memphis na na-realize ko lang na hindi na siya kinakatakutan. Nagbanggaan sila ni
Bane.
Si Bane parang,
may sinabi pa sa kanya.
Sino ka? Yung parang, what yung ganun, di ba? Parang dati, di mo magagawa ka ng Bruno. Di ba? This guy, sophomore or junior, actually looked up siya parang, old man. Tingin niya defiance talaga, di ba? Parang we're the new kids now. Okay, get your 30 points.
Maybe it's a very young team, so, di ba?
Yeah, very young, very upstart talaga, di ba? Lahat sila no names except for Moran. Except for Pia Moran.
Bomber.
Lumalabas na naman ang pagkakatito. Anyway, Farley, ikaw, sinabi ni Gary kung bakit pwede i-consider si LeBron as in the MVP race. Sumang-ayon si Coach Noy. Ikaw, bakit hindi?
Kasi yung standings nung team niya, for you to be mentioned as an MVP, dapat na elevate mo yung team, not just personal stats. Yun lang. I rest my case.
Naka 2 minutes si Gary, ikaw 10 seconds.
Hindi, di ba sabi nga nung iba, parang stats na lang hinahabol niya now. Parang regardless kung manalo or matalo. Kasi parang hindi niya na na-elevate yung team niya yung teammates niya. Like, gusto niya score siya, ganon. Tapos, rebounds. Ganon tipo. May nabasa lang akong ganong article. Na pwede naman. Paniwala.
Hindi ko binabara si Farley. But yun na, I have to...
dapat barahin mo si Farley. Barahan to.
Subukan nyo.
Hindi, kasi diba, recently, on that win streak, except for the game against Memphis, binuhat niya. That's why, kaya. But unfortunately, hindi niya na kaya, I think, for the entire season. Hindi niya na kaya for the entire season. Yun, diba?
Parang biding his time until like Anthony Davis actually comes back.
I'm make sure na ayoko na mag-play in, dito tayo makita tayo, and whatever. I think he's doing just enough. Exerting just the exact effort para lang to make sure na hindi tayo masyado nakakapit sa 7, 8, 9 playoffs pa. But for 7.
Pero right now they're on 7th place in the West. And it's first 6 and then 7, 8, 9, 10 ang nagpe-play in.
Pero at least hindi, alam mo yun, yung considering all of that. Tsaka pare, pag MVP discussion naman, let's face it, nag-start, ikaw yung mabango somewhere along the middle, somebody will be lang suddenly, ganyan na naman, and then, I think kung sino yung pinakambaalala ng tao from day 1 top to the actually, that is Curry, diba?
Yeah. And it also doesn't help na, I mean, media does not really stop talking about LeBron. Diba?
Oo naman, walang katapusan. Kasi age 37, yada.
Year 19, ganyan, di ba? Si Skip and Shannon, halos wala nang ibang topic. Kung hindi sila kung hindi football pinag-uusapan nila, si LeBron ang pinag-uusapan nila. Diba?
So, balik tayo doon sa sinabi ni Gary na 4-winning streak ng Lakers na binuhat niya. Yung apat na panalo nila, it was against Portland, nawala yung dalawa, Lillard and McCollum. Tapos susunod Minnesota, Sacramento, na hindi talaga contenders. Atlanta, which was struggling, was the only na medyo okay na team na tinalo nila on that 4-game winning streak. So nung hinarap nila yung Memphis, balik na naman sa dati. Something like that. So,
well, a win is a win. And to be honest, the Laker team is not a very good team.
Yung makeup. And this is coming from a Laker fan.
Yeah, even with Anthony Davis there, parang the pieces just don't fit. I mean, you have LeBron, you have Westbrook, you have Anthony Davis, who are pretty much
elite
superstars on their own. They can carry a team on their own, and parang pag minesh mo silang tatlo, they don't fit.
Hindi ko swak.
I mean, LeBron and AD maybe Westbrook
LeBron
and AD. I mean, any two I think would be enough. But to make it 3, because Westbrook definitely doesn't serve much of a purpose off the ball. If he doesn't have the ball, he's just a normal. I mean, he doesn't have an outside shot basically. Although he does hustle a lot, he plays like he wants to win, but it's not necessarily translating to wins. So as presently constructed, I really think that team is not very good. So kahit pa sabihin ni Farley na the teams, the 4-game winning streak, yung mga tinalo nila mahina, what if yun talagang level nila?
Yun lang talaga yung kaya nila.
It's still a good win, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
Actually, ako nagtatawa kay Westbrook. Westbrook makes the most spectacular turnovers and funny errors in the league. Di ba? Yeah. Spectacular talaga eh.
He goes for broke every play.
Ano yan? Ano yung shocking? Suki siya sa shocking.
Oo, parati siya number 1. Ano?
Palagi siya number 1 eh.
He goes for broke every play.
Ito.
Siguro when he was younger, okay. Ngayon, na-veteran ka na.
Yeah.
Parang mali talaga yung pagkakakuha eh. No? Parang
mali talaga.
Ang daming binitawan na
but they couldn't
magandang complementary
players.
players.
They couldn't resist adding a third star. Have an opportunity like that, you have to take it.
There was an article in Facebook, NBA Talk, I don't know who wrote it. They said na parang correct me if I'm wrong, alam ko si Farley. Si Jordan ay adjusting scoring niya to fit Pippen, Grant, to be champions. Gaga. Si Tim Duncan, David Robinson did the same, di ba? Kasi parang din si Duncan. Other stars, even si the Warrior days, Curry, downplayed, binaba niya yung laro niya para to accommodate to that. So, people have been saying that stars really sacrifice stats or egos to make it work, and I think that you can make more cases for that. Unfortunately, there is one superstar out there, according to the article, has ever done that. He's always had been taking scoring average, his rebound, it's the king. Bakit daw ganun? Kaya nga the king. You know, no, but if you think about it, it's kind of true. And if you look at the Laker team that was 4 or 5 years ago, maybe so different. It had Ball, it had D'Angelo, it had Ingram, it had
Kyle Kuzma.
Randall, Kuzma. When they left, ang gagaling bigla. So, maraming mga defenders sabi, syempre, galing sila kalit. Syempre, training ni LeBron para kumaling. Sabi ko,
LeBron had anything to do with it. No, I don't think.
And I think these players, these kids, if they continue to play with LeBron, they would eventually maybe shine or outshine them. It won't work eh. Di ba? Kailangan, tsaka syempre takot yung mga bata to make mistakes and everything. Yes. Yun lang, just a comment na nagulat ako. Medyo magandang point dyan from that aspect.
Kasi if you get LeBron, it's a given that you're gonna build a team around him.
Yeah.
Not gonna get LeBron as a complementary piece.
That's true.
Build around him. Yun nga lang problema nila when they got Westbrook. If you try to fit Westbrook in with LeBron, hindi na si Westbrook yun eh. You could have just gotten a role player for like what?
Energy kayo na lang,
How much they pay Westbrook?
Actually, di ba may article na they nearly signed DeRozan?
Yeah,
dumating lang tong offer for Westbrook. Yun ang mas magandang na sign up.
Speaking
but
of
I don't think they
DeRozan,
could have afforded to get DeRozan. I mean, what he signed with Chicago, they couldn't afford. I think
that's a salary cap.
Maybe that's why he signed with Chicago because of malaki alok. Well,
Hindi.
Nireject
muna siya. Nireject muna siya. Walang nangyari doon. Oo. Bago siya nagpuntang Chicago.
How much could the Lakers have offered DeRozan as opposed to what Chicago offered? I don't think they agreed on the price.
But I think kaya tama yan sa first no, in the sense na alam ko he really wanted to go back home.
Yeah.
Iba din
they
yan.
just couldn't offer him as much. I'm sure they offered him pero hindi masyadong mataas siguro.
Yeah, I'm sure. They don't have money to sign him.
Diba? To sign him. So
and the only way for them to upgrade was through a trade. And if Westbrook is available, I don't think they could say no to it. Because there weren't that many superstars to sign.
Yeah. But it was really a bad fit. Simula pa lang, alam mo ng bad fit.
What if this was the Westbrook ng MVP years niya, yung batang Westbrook? Do you think
Not
it
even
would be
Hindi kasi pareho silang ball dominant ni
Kailangan nilang ball.
He plays the same way as he was in his MVP season.
It's just that he makes a lot more turnovers now. Pero turnover pro na rin siya ng time na yun.
So does this mean that si Durant, when they were in OKC, ilan nila yung game niya to fit Westbrook? Or talaga mas complementary na ng games nila?
They're complementary dahil Durant can play off the ball.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
May shooting.
In a sense, tapos tignan mo yung mas nag-mesh ngayon si Harden tsaka si Durant. Kasi kahit na pareho silang in a sense ball dominant, pero I guess it's also the attitude na parang alam nila.
Facilitator.
Oo. Yeah.
Kaya nung dumating naman si Kyrie, di ba? Ball hog din and Harden. Sila din yung hindi
turns. And they all can score. They have an outside shot. They can penetrate. LeBron and Westbrook.
Dalawa wala. Parang walang shooting.
Grabe naman. Si LeBron meron na namang shooting. Masyado ka na. Hater ka.
But, I mean...
I don't call it shooting, Sorry.
Well, actually, the problem with the Lakers is they don't play the way most teams play. Medyo old school feel sila eh. Di ba? Parang grind it out, score from the inside. Alam mo yun, I mean, parang hindi sila predicated on floor spacing. More of one-on-one. LeBron create, Westbrook create, Monk create.
Anthony.
Davis, same. Melo, catch and shoot, basically. So actually, for the Lakers, I think the key is for Carmelo Anthony to be super consistent. Kasi he's the one guy who can score inside, outside. When he gets hot, I think they have a better chance. Pero yun nga. I think if there's a move the Lakers can make, because basically Westbrook is untradeable. Would they have the guts to trade Anthony Davis? Because
same
it's really the
same
only
agent.
It's the only move there is for them.
Correct.
Well, if they could trade LeBron, why not?
Iba may article na lumabas, parang ita-trade siya to Cleveland dahil yun daw yung ganda na ng mga core, mga bata, kasamahan niya. Yun naman ang gigibain niya.
Not gonna happen.
Wala na naman yung
I think LeBron will retire as a Laker for sure.
Oh, doon niya
antayin niya pa yung anak niya. Anyway, so magandang diskusyonan tungkol sa NBA. Another thing na nangyari nitong COVID, no? Is the fact na si Kyrie hindi na pinayagan maglaro ng simula. Pero recently pinaglaro siya. Ano yung opinions niyo doon? Farley?
Ako, bilib ako sa management nung sa start. Nanindigan sila na hindi pwedeng part-time player si Kyrie because unvaccinated siya. Ayaw nila yung sa road lang pwede kasi diba, masisira daw yung samahan, ganyan. But suddenly, last month, pinayagan na nila ngayon, naglalaro na ngayon. Sa akin, dapat hindi. Regardless of the standing of the team. Kasi parang prinsipyo yun eh. Parang dati ba, iniisip nila, kaya nila without Kyrie. Ngayon, nag-i-struggle sila and then plus yung positive cases within the team. Parang binawi mo na lang, laro na lang siya ulit. So, sa akin, I'm against it.
Anyone else with an opinion about this?
Actually, sinabi na yung reason why he's playing. The standings, they need victories, it's crunch time, COVID, ravaged sila. That's practically the reason why bumigay management. Let's face it, hindi kaya ng New Jersey silang dalawa lang.
Yeah.
Harden and Durant lang. Let's face it. With Kyrie there, aminin natin lahat tayo, kagulo to, di ba? The mere fact. But, wala for it's a business.
Pero,
it's a business. I don't know if in the long run, it will actually help them. Imagine kung mag-playoffs, they only play if they're on the road. If they don't have home court advantage, they only play in 3 games. They have to steal one, literally, in one of those games to make sure. Diba? If it's the other way around. So it's really pinag-usapan na maigi yan. The other thing is, mukhang modern academic as usual, na-injured the other day. Rolled his ankle. So parang call it karma, call it whatever. It's so Kyrie. Na na-injure siya, if ever, diba? It's so, script, alam mo ganun yung script. Alam mo, ma-injure siya at one point eh.
Kanina, talo
sila ng part.
Na-injure siya.
Pero Gary, come to think of it, yung pine-present mong scenario ng playoffs, I think it would be better for the Nets to not have home court advantage.
Yes. Para at least more or less apat. Ay, ilan?
Sila they should go for the 8th seed.
Oo.
Para 3 ron home, 4 ron on the road. Makanakaw 4 sa more times on the road. Diba? That's true, diba? Saka New Jersey, basta may Durant ka, may Harden ka, may laban ka palagi.
Although ang problema ng New Jersey, if they play against
Brooklyn sila, hindi sila New Jersey. Matagal na silang wala sa New Jersey. Ano ba?
The Brooklyn Nets, they play in New York.
Yes.
Mukhang malayo naman si New York.
Parehong hindi.
Malayo sa New York.
Kaya ko lang tama, kung maglaban pala ang Nets and Warriors, hindi siya makakaroon sa 4 games.
Wala.
Talaga? Bawal din siya sa San Francisco?
4 games siya makakalaro. Kung sakali, I'm sure Warriors will have a better record. He can play 4 games, but he can't play their home.
No.
Ay, di ba Warriors? He can't play at all pala. Sorry, mali.
Warriors hindi kaya kasi Wiggins, di ba, nagpa-box?
Oo nga pala, sorry pala ako. He can't play at all if
yes.
in the wall. Pero alam mo, niisip ko naman, sana lang pumasok sa utak niya na uy, asarap pala ng basketball, maglaro kaya ako ulit, pabaksit na kaya ako. Di ba? Or yung mga teammates, pare, sige na, pabaksit ka na, kita ko na nanalo tayo. Sana yung ganung buyuan man lang, di ba?
Tsaka kung makita niya na walang mawawala sa kanya na nagpabaksit.
Tinanong na si Durant, di ba? Sabi niya, he told Kyrie, we needed you, but I'm not gonna tell him to have yourself vaccinated.
Wala, ano yun, yung mga respeto na yun sa mga...
Respeto na yun ng mga best friend.
Oo, tsaka naman, at tanda-tanda mo na alam mo na kung yung tama o mali.
Kung yung world nga daw, di ba, flat eh, magpapabox ka pa ba? Diba?
Wala na siya
Kyrie,
dun, hindi na siya naniniwala.
Kyrie, we need you, but I won't tell you to get vaccinated or the world is flat.
It's wrong. I will just tell you, pass me the ball and you shoot the
May
ball.
something talaga.
Quick question, just first thing that you think of when I ask you the question to round out our NBA discussion. Who is going to the finals? Farley,
Bucks Warriors.
Gary,
Nets Warriors.
Coach,
Bulls Warriors.
Bulls Warriors.
Warriors
Iba lang.
lahat.
Sa akin Bulls Suns ako eh. Bulls Suns yung inaabangan ko. Yun. Para medyo mas bata-bata na ng mga yung papasok ng
I feel like the Warriors
NBA
will be
finals.
near.
Well, whatever happens, I'm sure that this NBA season is something that a lot of people will both remember and wish that they can forget at the same time. Moving on to our next topic. We go to Japan, particularly the Japan B-League. Last year na interview natin ang pioneer sa pagiging Asian import sa B-League na si 3D Ravenna, no? Check out our interview of 3D and how he found the experience to be. Na mula noon, marami na ring mga ibang mga young Pinoy basketball players na nagsisiliparan papuntang Japan para maging import sa Japan B-League. As more and more local players seek greener pastures, not just in the B-League but pati na rin sa Taiwan, sa Australia, baka kahit pa sa Europe. Anong ibig sabihin nito para sa local game natin? And by local game, I don't just mean the PBA, pati na rin MPBL, Vismin Super Cup, pati na rin yung mga paliga sa barangay ni Kapitan. Ano yung mga thoughts ninyo dun?
Well, it's another option for kids to dream. I mean, to try to reach yung to be able to play overseas. Kasi parang, di ba, parang lumawak yung options nila. Dahil before, ang dream mo lang is to play in the PBA. But I know of some college players who actually think it's better for them to play abroad. Parang second choice na nila to fall back na lang nila yung PBA. Because basically, the pay is very, very good.
Yeah.
So
Times
even
three,
I think
times four.
even let's say kay Mark Carino is in the 3rd division.
Yeah.
Baka more pa siya ng kinikita ng mga rookie contracts. I mean, not the max rookie contracts, but most likely mas malaki pa yung sweldo niya dun sa ibang rookie contracts sa PBA. So even without stepping foot on the PBA yet, it's already making money.
Yeah, I agree with Noy in that sense, no? Guys like Dwight Ramos, unfortunately never played for the Blue Eagles. Diba? Sayang, but kita mo, it's who's the other, the Lianos, Kobe Paras is another outlet to make mistakes. So but I'm sure marami na tama sa I'm sure marami dyan hindi na nagsasalita to avoid the ire of I don't know why you have to write the commissioner a love letter to play in another league. But diba, I mean okay, that's another issue. But it's another place to go. Tsaka hindi lang ang Japanese league ngayon. You have the Taiwanese league, the Taiwan league, the
si Heading nasa
Korea.
Taiwan, di ba?
Korea.
Heading, Korea league pa, diba?
Korea.
May mga iba-ibang leagues. So, the mere fact that Ginebra yata recently resigned Japan to nagpanic eh. Diba?
Yeah.
So that's a sign that the local league is really worried that he's Saka pare, kung up and coming player ka talaga, and you know with the numbers of the PBA, it is no stopping you. Why not? Diba? Go to another country and earn more. The country would actually benefit from it more kasi international player ka, the way you style you play. Kaya sila Kmart, sila Rianos, sila Duetra. I'm sure sila 30 pagbalik. Iba yung dala nila na knowledge and everything, di ba? Oh, we're also talking about Kai Soto.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, in Australia.
Diba? So, yun, they open new doors for them. Medyo sarado nga lang, pero I'm saying is, diba, it's giving new opportunities for the younger ones. And I agree with Coach Noy.
Ikaw, Farley, mukhang may gusto kong...
Hindi, tsaka aside from the pay na 3 or 4 times higher than the PBA, 8 months lang yung trabaho mo, but you get paid for a year in Japan. I read that article also. 8 months lang yung tournament. So, parang ang haba ng pahinga mo. Unlike in the PBA, pag normal, di ba? 3 conferences. So, parang mas marami kang laro para mas bugbog yung katawan mo. Tsaka syempre, you have to take consideration also, limited lang yung lifespan mo as an athlete. Diba? Let's say 12 years, mahaba na yun eh. Kung talagang, diba? So kung nasa Japan ka for 12 years, parang naglaro ka ng 48 years. Diba? Which,
kasi times 3 times 4
no?
Pay.
With the pay. Diba? Parang, talagang nakaka-enganyo.
So is it a challenge now for our local leagues to try and match that? And should they take up that challenge?
First of all, I don't think it's a challenge for them. Whatever happens, the B League or the other leagues will always be there and will always offer that up. Kahit anong mangyari. Diba? Kahit itaas ang PBA yan, kung ang teams mo, certain number lang, and you're only a certain number, sheer numbers will not dictate na these players, titingin siya, ay, hindi ko talaga kaya dito. Inipat yan. Kahit anong gawin nila, kahit taasan nila yung salary cap nila, pag sobrang ganun lang yung teams mo, wala ka talaga paglalaroan, di ba? I mean, like, yun lang yung sa akin. I don't think they can do anything. Taasan man nila, hindi yung mga iba na mas mga bata, mas magagaling na hindi sila yung dilipat to the other leagues. So I don't think it will be a difference. Dapat kabahan sila because eventually these kids will eventually go there. Imagine mo, araw-araw naka-driver ka in your apartment, may sarili kang PT, nakikita ko yung mga pictures 30 at saka yung Kiefer nasa mga milk cartons pa sila yung mga cereal. There's celebrities there, but again, wag lang sila mainganyo masyado because Kiefer, 30, Dwight Ramos are exceptional talents. They work to be there. So it's also okay for these kids to really work, to be where, para abutin nila. Di ba kakala nila na, kaya ko. Ano meaning ganun, di ba? These guys have paid their dues, that's why they're over there.
Actually, because of the nangyayari sa Japan League, yung second tier players dito would benefit eh. Hindi nila magiging kaagaw.
That's a good thing that's come out of this, no? Yeah.
So, mas may chance na sila yung gano'n. Diba? Kung dati, second round ka lang, nawala lahat ng first round. Yung first round pick ka na. Ito yung maximum. Mga gano'n. Pero dapat talaga damihan na rin yung teams. At talaga mas maraming makalaro, gano'n. It's another issue.
Pero yun nga
hindi natin kailangan ng mas maraming laro dahil dadami yung mapopostpone na laro.
Well, of course, we are being optimistic in the sense na medyo mag-normalize na ulit ang buhay sa Pilipinas, you know? Kasi I don't think that this exodus of cream of the crop young Pinoy basketball talent is going to stop anytime soon, especially if the offers are there, no? And you've got 3 divisions. Di ko alam kung ilang total team sa B-League, pero if you've got 3 divisions na lahat yan naghahanap ng Asian import, I guess the Philippines can also look at it as a positive in the sense na naghahanap sila ng Asian import, sa Pilipinas sila naghahanap. So ibig sabihin, ganong kataas ang tingin nila sa mga Filipino basketball players, diba? So parang in a way it's a source of pride for Filipinos na mga players natin ang kinukuha nila, pero yun nga, hindi lang natin sila nakikita sa local leagues natin. Yun yung yun yung downside.
Sayang lang hindi natin na sayang lang hindi natin sayang lang hindi inaabot yung all-star ng Japan B-League, no? Sayang magkakasama sana yung mga Pinoy na imports one team. It would have been nice to see them together.
Parang gilas lang. Gilas versus B-League All-Stars.
Yun, sayang. Sayang.
Okay, that being said, aside from the quality of players we have, I think these Japanese teams are also after the social media pool of Filipinos.
Yeah, tama.
It's more of it's partly
sort of gimmick din siya.
Partly
a marketing ploy, I think.
You're calling me?
Yeah. Diba, ito seryoso. Kung ang B-League mag-open ng merchandise store
dito.
Online.
Daming
patuloy ang pipilihan. Papatulang ko yun, di ba? Party, hinihingi ko 30.
Mga jerseys ng mga players natin doon. Bebenta yun.
Di ba? Carino, di ba?
They sell that online, malamang magkaroon sa Divisoria.
Sigurado.
I'm sure ngayon pa lang meron na.
Sorry. Yung point na sabi ko sa akin was, I remember yung story ni Liza Diaz. She said she was starting the SEA Games. And she saw the itinerary of I think it was the Malaysians or Indonesians. Tapos may naka-circle na date. Yung pala apparently it was the game against the Philippines. Di ba? Yung talagang, not gusto siya how respected, how scared. Nakabilog na parang, manalo na lahat, patalo na lahat. Ito lang gusto kailangan. Gandang laro na sa laro. Diba kailangan? Naka-circle. I'm just reiterating sinabi ni Chief na we are respected kahit pa paano sa basketball. I don't want to use the powerhouse. Definitely in Southeast Asia tayo number 1 powerhouse.
Yeah.
But we are very respectable even in the world stage. Kahit tinatambakan tayo, lumalaban. Dahil the cute Pinoys, the small Pinoys lumalaban, the underdogs, diba? Pero at least tayo, yung ganun, they respect the talent that we have. Kilala na. Yun, so, ako lang. So, supportahan ko lang sabi mo.
Supportahan pa ka?
Okay, we have nothing but well wishes for our athletes na naglalaro sa ibang bansa. Kumbaga, representatives na rin sila ng Pilipinas sa pagiging import nila. And katulad nga nung sabi natin kanina, the fact na kinuha sila bilang import tells us of the skill level of our players here and the amount of respect that all of these other countries have for our players. Hopefully, this translates to better showing in all of the other international tournaments that we join, no? Because they're sure to receive a different kind of training while they're there. And this will bear fruit in the years to come. Mula sa mga Pinoy players na naglalaro sa ibang bansa, pag-usapan naman natin ang recent na balita about a push for naturalized players to play in the PBA. Medyo namin na kasi mga naturalized players din natin dahil sa Gilas program. Oh, Farley, can you give us a little bit more information about all of this sa mga article na nabasa mo?
Si Blatch saka si Douthit interested to play in the PBA, no? So, kaso under the present bylaws, hindi pwede.
I doubt it.
Pwede sila for
Yeah,
I doubt
import.
it too. So, as an import. Kaso, problema naman as an import, lampas sila dun sa height limit ng mga present
6'10 yan si Blatch.
Kasi wala nang unlimited before. Hindi katulad dati may unlimited. So, pero sa akin, my stand is, dapat payagan nila.
Kasi?
Dahil, kung nakakapaglaro ka as Philippine player, national team player, dapat makalaro sila sa liga natin. Pero sa akin, dapat lagyan ng konting limits. Like, pag kinuha siya nung pinakabulok na team, hindi siya pwedeng matrade kahit ano mangyari. Mamaya, matrade na naman, mapunta na naman sa, di ba? So, dapat doon lang talaga para makatulong din sa parity ng league.
Paano the following season, yung bottom team, lilipat sa?
Ay, hindi. Doon na siya muna.
Hanggang maubos ng kontrata niya, gano'n.
Tagal na, tanda na rin naman nila. Hindi na rin bago lumakas.
So in your opinion, so in your opinion, Farls, lahat ng naturalized players, sama na natin si Kwame diyan. Kasi si Ange Kwame is a naturalized player.
Sa akin,
allowed dapat, pero dapat nasa bottom tier teams lang sila pwede. Ganun ba yung sinasabi mo?
Hindi, syempre una silang pipiliin, di ba, pag drafting.
So papasok sila sa draft mismo.
The way it is. Kaso baka magpabulok naman yung iba, magtanking. pinayagan na for next year, di ba? Mabulok ka para makuha mo sila. Hindi ko alam paano. Kala kayo. Di ba, baka magkaroon na naman ng tanking. Pag in-announce mo na next year, papadraft mo sila, papayagan ha.
You know what? Technically, they're free agents. For me, at this point, I let them play, period. It doesn't matter to me where.
Patay na naman.
Mga
free agent.
As free agent.
Why would that? Ako ko, sorry ha, alam mo naman sa PBA. Sorry again. Alam naman natin mga nangyayari. Even whoever naturalized citizens come in, they will end up in one of the two bigger companies. They're actually playing for one right now. All those teams play for one. Right? So, kung ako yung sa grupo na yun, bakit ko papayagan mo sa ibang grupo yan? I will do everything.
Sinesweldohan ko for something else. Diba?
Yes, di ba? But that's not the issue right now. The issue right now is if you allow them. Yes, I want to allow them. I agree with Fardy na maybe to teams, maybe they can play but maybe with limitations. Like maybe
20 minutes maximum lang sila. Ganun.
20 minutes
per
player.
quarters.
Parang ABL lang yan, 3 quarters lang, 4 quarters. I mean, maybe yung ganun lang. Hindi ka pwede magkaroon ng 4th quarter, I don't know, or something. But,
first and third lang.
Tanggalin na muna natin yung scenario na mas may malalakas na teams, mas mahina na teams. Yung sa akin yung issue na naglaro ka as Pinoy for a national team. Doon lang natin i-focus.
Yeah.
And technically, Pinoy ako.
Pinoy ako. Pinoy tayo.
With that issue,
tigil na, baka mamaya kailangan natin bayaran yan.
Without skill or whatever, I think they should be allowed. Wag na natin muna isipin na kung yun ang issue,
kung paano.
Yes. Now, tsaka natin mag-usapan ng details kung paano and whatever. Pero kung yun ang issue, ako 100% yes.
But shouldn't it start from having a system in place na this will bleed into the next topic that we have. Shouldn't it start from putting in a system that allows for parity, not just in talent level, but in the opportunity for all of these teams to be able to maintain or keep these naturalized players. Katulad na nga nung sinabi ni Fardy kanina, di ba? Na part na yun na parang kung nasa bottom tier ka, dapat sa inyo muna siya. Pero with all of these salary cap things happening behind the scenes, diba? Shouldn't it start there? That's what I'm saying.
Ako na muna since I started, I agree, but again, the issue is whether papayagan na or not. Let's say pinayagan na. If you look at it now, I can only count 3 naturalized players, and that's only 3. Dautit is old, Blanche is old, and Kwame is the only one. That's a gold mine. Si Kwame lang ang gold mine among those 3. I don't know about the others na naglaro sa ABL, those other guards or whatever, the naturalized players, the heady, sabi ko sana si Jordan Samar, mali. Jordan Heady. Shout out to Jordan Samar. But, di ba, yung mga ganun. So, as of now, yun pa lang yung mga, unless may mga nagtatago dyan, mga naturalized citizens from other, may Pinoy pala ako. Alam mo yung ganun, di ba? Kasi ang naturalized citizen is not an easy thing to accomplish, becoming a naturalized citizen. Tama ba ako? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, kailangan ng Congress yan.
Just not handed out like that, di ba?
Yeah.
So right now, if you're thinking about it, talagang silang tatlo lang ang alis bumalik sa retirement sa Chip England, sa Jeff Moore, matatanda. But I think right now, it's not going to be an issue pa. Unless talagang, naging issue na si Blanche bilang wala sa trabaho di ba? Yun lang yun eh. So, even if hindi nila pag-usapan natin yan, it won't happen within the next how many years, I don't think so. Unless Kwame suddenly declares he wants to play as a, that's the only time that tackle.
As a local.
I think. As a local. I think they have too much other problems right now than this one. Sorry, 2 cents worth, but I don't know about the others.
Coach, what are your 2 cents?
Yun nga, hindi mo ako natanong kung gusto ko ba sila maglaro. Yes, I want them to play, but will it happen? I don't think so. Yun nga, first things first, tatlo lang sila eh. It would create an imbalance. I mean, even if you put them in the weaker teams, it's still an imbalance dahil wala ka namang local ako lang kumakausap sa'yo, wala naman local na na magmamatch up with guys eh. So it's sobrang disadvantage. Plus yun nga, there's a reason why the rules are in place. Like what you sinasabi ni Gary, Pinoy sila dapat naglalaro sila sa PBA. But if you think about it, there are Pinoys playing in the PBA that cannot play for the national team.
So, as a local, di ba? As a local, yeah.
Yes. Like Newsam plays as a local in the PBA but he cannot play for the national team. Unless import
si Pringle, si Stan Hardinger.
Mercado dati.
Yeah, so
Stan Hardinger.
It would be nice to see them play. I mean, di ba, nostalgic for us dahil yung glory that they brought to us. Parang they deserve to at least di ba, parang reward na lang for them for serving the country is to let them play. Pero yun nga, tatlo lang sila eh. I mean, siguro if you allow each team a naturalized player, that would be possible. Like kung 8, meron tayong 10 naturalized, di ba? Kaso yun nga, hindi naman yan basta-basta nangyari kasi you have to go through legislation, you have to go through Congress, Senate, and has to be approved by the President. So, parang medyo mahirap. So, for now, I don't think it's gonna happen. Ever.
If it's doable. Parlin, gumanong ka. Mukhang may pasabog ka. Ano yung pasabog mo?
Hindi, naisip ko lang, baka pwede yung dalawa, yung si Doughtit and Bludge, doon sa dalawang lower as an import. Pero,
additional.
Sila yung may added na, sila yung unlimited height.
Oo
Diba, 6'8". Something like that.
Didn't they used to do
dati
that
may ganun
before?
Di ba? Mas malaki yung...
Ang ruling before,
they did that before.
Ang ruling before, pag alala ko yung isang conference nun was, 6'4" and above. Yung isa, yung mas malalakas na teams, like the defending champion yung pumasok ng finals or yung finals, 6'1" lang.
Yeah.
O may ganun Tapos
baka
may or
6'7",
6'4", yung may mga ganun, diba? Yun yung handicapping nila. So pwede, that might work. Actually ako, I'm still all for the mga 7-footers coming over here and playing kasi
iba pa rin.
nakakatuwa rin pa yung mga ganun kalalaki.
Sana i-elevate yung laro
ng big man, di ba kahit pa rin? Tsaka wala naman tayo panapat talaga nun. So sila nagbabantayan. Sila nagbabantayan din talaga, di ba? So,
Sige nga, paano kunyari si Justin Brownlee ma-naturalized?
Yun. Actually,
Actually,
yun yung pinaka di ba? Si Brownlee, si Makolo. Yun yung
malaking imbalance yun.
Oo, laking imbalance yun. Pag sila.
Even Kwame right now, di ba? Si Kwame right now, siya technically, naturalized siya, di ba? I agree. But I'm also dito sa sinabi ni Coach Toy na it's never gonna happen.
There's too much of a lobby against it, do you feel? Or there's just no urgency to do it?
Honestly, the ones paying their salaries now, their allowances now are from one club. Why will I invest in this person the whole time only to have him stolen by other teams? Diba? So siya, payag ako. Yung ibang sa'yo lang pupunta. Ano ka? Diba?
Kunin lang player development coach no? Ganun na lang.
Ganun na lang yan. Teka, sorry. Pag-usapan natin before. Yung issue ni Alex Compton. Ano ba siya?
Hindi pinayagan.
Hindi siya Pinoy at all.
Hindi siya Pinoy. He was just born here.
But was he born here?
He was born here.
Oh, kung born here siya, di ba Pinoy siya?
Hindi, pero...
Foreigners yung both parents.
Parehong foreigners yung parents.
Ang Filipino by blood. By blood.
Hindi siya pa titulad sa States, di ba?
Jus sanguini.
Yos sanguini. Okay. I get it. Alright.
Si ano rin? Si Kirk ba? Si Kirk Long?
Kirk Long din, di ba?
Kirk Long was born in the States, but his parents came here, missionaries. Dito siya lumaki. Technically,
American talaga.
In fact, si Compton, mas magaling pa mag-Tagalog kaysa sa ibang film natin.
Alam ko yung comment yun. Mas magaling pa si Compton mag-Tagalog kaysa sa iba.
Galing pa si Ola Diogon mag-Tagalog sa mga film.
Well, I for one think that there is room for naturalized players to join PBA teams. Yeah, pero tama naman din yung mga points na sinabi ni Gary at saka ni Coach Noy, no? And pati ni Farley. Pero para sa akin, it creates a career path for those who those players na iko-contract natin, no, to represent the country during international tournaments para hindi naman sila mabakante habang nag-aantay in between international tournaments. It's just a matter of those kung the company, the big conglomerate that takes care of them while they're resting from international tournaments to allow them to play for these PBA teams. Yun. I'm sure that there are intelligent people who can come up with schemes on how they can be able to play. No? Yun. Sama na natin si Coach Alex Compton. Dapat kasali siya dun. No? Sayang lang hindi siya nakapaglaro ever before. Yun. Yun. Thinking of the PBA and how these different schemes, that they have, no? We go to the topic about the recent developments sa PBA. Yung kauna-unahang pag-implement ng unrestricted free agency. Yon. So, yes, Gar.
Question. Ako na magtatanong. Ano ba yung unrestricted free agency na yan? Because dito, wala akong masyado nababalitaan dyan. So, can you guys tell me about this?
And doon tayo sa ating subject matter expert, Farley. Ayon sa mga articles na nabasa mo.
Na parang noong 2000, yung batch 2014, pagkadating this year, pwede na silang unrestricted.
Yung draftees ng 2014 or
yes,
lahat?
Noong 2014. Yes.
Okay.
So yung iba na rin yun ng teams. Ang pangit lang, nangyari kasi, nag-expire yung iba kalagitnaan ng conference. So nung hindi sila nag-renew, kalagitnaan ngayon ng conference, lilipat nung teams. So parang disadvantage yung mga nawala ng player.
Yeah, what I'm asking is, anong procedure? So 2014, kung ano ba dati? Ano yung dati?
Dati kasi in perpetuity ang rights ng isang player sa isang team until i-renounce nila.
If you're drafted, you're drafted, you have to stay there technically.
Yes, until you're either traded or renounced.
The right.
Traded or released.
Oh my goodness.
The rights remain with the team.
Yeah.
So now,
in an effort to copy the NBA, nag-implement si PBA ng unrestricted free agency. So yung mga draft ng 2014,
7th year mo,
after your 7th year,
mag-sign with anyone, technically wala na yung hawak ng team sa'yo, yung rights sa'yo wala na.
Pag-expired yung contract mo, yes.
Okay. That's interesting.
So two players already availed of it and transferred.
Sino yung mga yun?
Si Brondial from Alaska, lumipat ng San Miguel, and Pinto.
Nards Pinto.
Wow.
Hindi si Sam. Hindi si Sam. Mas kilala natin si Sam. So,
kilala mo si Sam?
Ginebra.
Sam
Ekwe?
No.
Ekwe?
Sam Pinto daw.
Yun. So, from Meralco, lumipat naman siya ng Ginebra. Pero ngayon, pag-aaralan na naman daw nila yung
implementation.
Na yun.
Bakit?
Kasi maraming nag-complain.
It gives advantage to the
bigger
teams na
who can afford to sign them.
Parang nawawala na naman yung parity.
Two things. One, di ba na naisip yung bago gawin?
Exactly.
If there is a next free agency, as in the NBA, sino highest bidder? Sino pupunta yung player talaga? So what did they expect? Di ba honestly?
Sa akin, ang solution talaga dyan is for the strict implementation of the salary cap.
Yes.
Yun ang tatanungin ko. Isn't there a salary cap in place? Are they given a certain amount or how many free agents a team can sign? Or whatever. Diba, sa akin, yun lang yung mga ito ba yung famous like ko? Kasi yung PBA sa microcosm.
Hindi, alam ko may salary cap.
On paper meron. May salary cap on paper. Yun. Pero kung ma-misplace yung paper na yun, di na natin alam kung anong susundin.
Or na liquid paper.
Baka hindi, merong paper, pero baka may iba pang paper.
Nasa ilalim ng mesa.
Hindi, 80s pa lang, alam na natin na this player is getting paid. Uy, liit. Bigla makita ko may gas station. Uy, may planta. Uy, may farm. I mean, we all know there are ways to creatively go around the salary cap. And I think it's still happening. I think even in the NBA where they are more nakikita ng mga tao yung pera sa pupunta-punta. Dito pa na you don't really know how much. Sorry. Again, a microcosm of our government. Of the Philippine government.
In fact, di ba yung dyan sumikat yung interview dati kay Coach Yeng Kiao na may offer sila kay Polly. May offer sila kay Polly, umaalis daw, ayaw. So, yung famous line niya na, bakit aalis to? Iba ba yung maximum ng ibang teams? Maximum yung offer namin. So, yun. Sabi lang nila yun.
Sabi lang. Nabasa mo lang sa isang article.
Pinex sa akin ni Coach kanina. Nahiya si Coach.
No. Okay, so an issue, but these two named players, Pinto and Brondel, they won't exactly move the needles. Who are the other players that are expected to dip into free agency or try free agency?
May kakalimutan. May na-renew na last month eh.
Parang pinagre-renew na kaagad nila eh.
Oo.
Kasi
December 31 kasi.
Yun din yung medyo issue ko dyan eh. Medyo issue ko siya sa mga kontrata ng mga PBA players. Bakit anong tawag mo dito? Bakit calendar year? Dapat by season. Ang weird kasi, parang gitna ng conference, nag-run out yung kontrata mo.
Dapat ginawa nila nung umurong tong pandemic, diba? Alam na nila yung pandemic, alam na nila na late nag-start. Dapat automatic
may
kontrata.
Yes.
Avail mo yung unrestricted free agency after the season.
Yes.
Kasi kawawa yung mga umalis na mga naalisan na team eh. Sa sila kukuha ngayon na pamalit kay Brondial.
Sa totoo lang, si Brondial has been playing really well for Alaska nitong conference. Yeah, he's been playing really well. Off the bench, energy guy. So medyo malaking kawalan siya. And even si Pinto sa Meralco, malaking bagay din si Pinto sa Meralco. Diba?
In fact, in-interview yung mga coaches na di ba, si Black sa Meralco, tsaka si Coach Jeff Peryaso. Nagulat sila na umalis. Kasi may playing time naman sa kanila. Tapos ang offer was 2 years. They offered 2 years. Pero they signed up for 3 years.
Si Brondial.
For Alaska.
Si Brondial.
I mean, who got Pinto?
Yeah, si Brondial from Alaska, he moved. So si Brondial moved to San Miguel. Kasi he wanted to part din doon is he wanted to reunite siguro with Coach Leo, who was his college coach.
Yeah.
Si Pinto ako naman may nabasa akong article. Nagbabasa rin ako ng article, Fardy.
Nagbabasa ka pala.
Nagbabasa ako kahit papaano, nakakapagbasa naman ako. Si Pinto naman ay lumipat ng Ginebra. He considered playing time pa din eh kasi since wala si Stanley Pringle for the rest of the conference, nakita niya may pwede siyang punan doon sa team. So, yun, kaya siya lumipat. Pero
tsaka he wanted to play with Coach Tim Cone.
So yun.
Siguro marami na siya natutunan English kay Coach Norman, di ba?
So pwede na.
Kay Coach Tim naman.
No, tsaka I think obviously Ginebra is the most popular team, di ba? Pare naman, medyo no-brainer naman na. Kinuha ko ng Ginebra and I'm getting playing time here.
Pero tama kung hindi siguro injured si Pringle, baka hindi lumipat yun. Kasi mahirap din sa player yung walang playing time.
Yeah. Kaya sa tinawag player, playing time. No playing time. Hindi siya player.
Yeah.
Bench lang siya. Hindi siya bench player. Bench.
Bench.
Wala namang bench player. Bench. Bench for us.
Coach, your thoughts?
Coach Ray, pareha.
Hindi, kasi, I mean, unrestricted free agency, so no limits. So basically, the bigger team, not necessarily the bigger teams, because Meralco is an MVP team, diba? Yeah. So if they look elsewhere, yun naman yung essence nung unrestricted free agency. You shift the power to the players to choose where they want to go. Hindi na sila hawak ng team. I don't think it's a problem with the system. I mean, the rules in place. I don't think it's the problem. It's just that yun nga, the capacity to offer better contracts are with other teams. Pero although if you think about it, Meralco is an MVP team and
they ought to
Ginebra is a San Miguel team. So it was basically just, I think, a choice for Nards Pinto to want to play for Ginebra, because why wouldn't anyone want to play for Ginebra?
Yes, I agree.
Diba? Opportunity-wise, for yourself, whatever, kung ano mang aspect ng pagiging player, the mere fact na i-cheer ka ng Barangay Ginebra, it's an easy choice. Alam mo yun, kahit pa siguro ma-bench ka or anything. I mean, not all players really, I think, would make playing time be the main point in choosing where to go. It's bigyan ka na mas malaking pera. I mean, di ba? At the end of the day, it's a means of living, and I wouldn't fault any player for choosing to go somewhere where they will get a better contract, not necessarily to play. Like, there are a lot of players in the PBA, ang tagal na nilang nandyan. They barely get to play, but they're naka-roster sila which means they're getting paid for sitting on the bench. They're probably good in the locker room. They're good as practice players. Not good enough to play on a strong team maybe, but they get paid. So end of the day, for any player, I think it's yung unrestricted free agency is player empowerment. So I don't see anything wrong with it. Ayaw lang natin dahil syempre the teams that are strong are getting stronger. But that's the way it is.
Yeah.
I agree with Doy. I was gonna say nga na, at this point, ang dapat matuwa are the players. Kasi now they have hopefully, they call it the power to choose where they want to go. Instead of being traded to these lowly teams na ayaw naman nila. Kasi pera lang yan, di ba? Eventually, doon ka naman lilipat sa malaki din, yung nakahabol mo, di ba? Why not now? Di ba? While prime ko pa or meron pa may gusto sa akin. Pero yun, sorry, I just go back to again, who are these players na who are really going to be moving the needle? Like, sinong impact players pa available or will be available in the free agent market soon? Japet, as I think already signed with Ginebra. Yeah, but what about guys like Junmar, CJ Perez?
Baka sila CJ, sila Bolik, sila yung mga
Jason Castro, these guys that we've been saying playing for. It would be cool to see, let's say, Jason Castro in a Ginebra uniform, a San Miguel uniform. Alokin sila, di ba? Free agent. I know that might not happen, that take care of him for life, but but that's what free agency does. If Jason says, Coach, last year ko na gusto kong makakampi si LA, gusto kong maging kakampi si ganyan, payado mo, di ba? That's I think what would happen.
Ito yung first round picks noong 2014. Stanley Pringle, Kevin Alas, Ronald Pascual, wala na. Matthew Ganuelas, Chris Banchero, yan, nabanggit yan. Rodney Brundial, Anthony Semerad, Jake Pascual, nabanggit. Jericho Cruz, David Semerad, Wami Chongson, and of course, the Honorable Senator.
So, unrestricted free agent na siya.
Yes. He can choose.
He can sign with any team.
Yeah.
Ang baka habulin yan si Wami. Kasi medyo matunog siya ngayon dun sa Terra Firma eh.
Hindi alam na natin
not everyone will avail of the unrestricted free agency kasi mag-extend ka na lang sa team mo, alaga ka na.
Actually, hindi mo pwede lang gamitin na na bargaining chip din eh.
Yeah.
Basta inyo ako nililipat ako sa kabila for wala kang makukuha for me if I transfer here.
Yeah.
Basta mo lang ako. Ganun din.
Well, besides, if you're good enough, you'll get the best contract possible. Best contract offer, extension offer possible. So.
And how many teams are there in the PBA?
10.
Sorry?
10 teams to PBA. How many per roster? 15?
No, 12.
12 na ba?
12 lang. Hindi 15.
Sorry, 12 players, 12 teams.
12 teams. Okay. ko na rin.
12 teams, 15 players.
Sa NBA, 12 players per roster.
15 din, 15.
15.
Tapos PBA, 12 lang.
No, 15 players. 15 players. 12 teams.
15 na rin. Yeah, until issues.
Yeah. Yun. Well, hopefully the PBA fixes the implementation. Sabi nga ni Farley, they're restudying kung paano nila ini-implement ngayon yung unrestricted free agency. While it is encouraging to see that the league is beginning to modernize its systems and binibigyan na nga nila ng power ang mga players to choose where they want to play, medyo kulang pa sa tweaks para maging completely effective yung pag-implement. And we go to our last topic of Karambola for tonight. We have a very controversial topic. Yes, controversial topic, and it is from the realm of basketball. Pumunta naman tayo sa athletics kung saan patuloy ang rift between our national athlete EJ Obiena at ang PATAFA. More specifically si Chairman Philip Elawico. And so, yun, ang tanong ko para sa inyo mga sportito, what do you know and what are your opinions on the issue?
It is a microcosm of what is happening to the government.
Okay.
Whatever the real situation is, it is a sad day again for Philippine sports. Whether, because I've read what the Popoy Huico said, who's no stranger to controversy, somehow is always involved in controversy. The PATAFA again is no stranger to controversy. Go Tengkok days pa yan. My God. And I'm reading articles from may appear. Ano ba, na-prove na ba na tama ba yung sinabi? Tama ba hindi nga ba nag-limit si Obiena? Binayaran na nga ba si ganyan? Kung nalilate siya, inamin naman niya nakas nalilate siya, but he still limits it. Okay, if that happens, kung sabihin natin mali siya, okay, why does Rico have to do it in public? Why doesn't just he go talk to it? O pare, hindi ka pa nag-limit, late ka na ng 1 month, bakit? Pwede naman natin yung gawin yun, ibig na through the media, which caught Obiena by surprise, parang, teka, ano nangyayari dito? And ako as the national player who's brought prestige to the country, I would have thought you guys would owe me that courtesy man lang of informing me either formally, informally, not through the press. Tama, correct me if I'm wrong, Di ba? Baka mali ako na they might have said something internally, and then baka si Obiena na spoke out na una. Baka mali ako sa chain of events, but the way na nabasa ko was criticize siya in media already, na trial siya by media. So sagot ulit si Obiena, syempre media rin ang tinilan niya na mali ito, ganyan. So lahat yan yung nangyayari, di ba? So ako hindi ko lang kung again, let's prove, I don't know who to believe. Hindi na nakisawsaw pa yung mga legends na dapat hindi na nakikisawsaw.
And
yes, I'm talking about you, Miss Elma Muros. No, I mean, I love her. She's a legend. Pero, again, you could have just called your fellow athlete and told him pala, EJ, ano bang issue? Baka matulungan kita. Hindi. Ano kagad siya Side kagad siya. Hindi. Ano may ego mo, bayaran mo at shut up na lang and just continue. You owe a lot to the PATAFA. Which I think EJ actually does not. I think it does in that sense. Tsaka again, PATAFA ever since has always been a controversial one. Parang ang Pinoy sports, pag meron sumisikat,
nagkakaroon ng issue.
Para lang maklaim nila na may say sila in the whole thing. Di ba? Kakainis. It is a microcosm of the government, I'm telling you. Ako yun, sagutin nyo. Has it been proven any of this true? Any sasabi and whatever? Or is it all is anything
wala
about it?
Wala akong alam. Ang may nabasa ako before, bakit ang athlete ang mag-liquidate?
Yun.
Bakit sa kanya pinapahawak yung pera? dapat ang focus niya is to train. Dapat siya maniningil, kuwari ako, coach ko. Ako maniningil sa PATAFA, kuha ko ng pera, bigay ko sa coach ko. O kaya yung coach ko, papuntahin ko ng PATAFA, siya magabayad, pero hindi mo bibigay sa akin yung budget ko.
Ako yung
Something
mahala
like
ko
that.
ito, 100 sa'yo, 200 sa'yo, 300. Diba? Kind of weird. Again, pinag-isipan.
Ang gulo ng process. That's for me. Tsaka dapat wag maglagay ng politikong tao sa sports. Kasi nagkakaroon talaga ng politika eh. As it is nga eh. Wala nang politiko. Politika na yung sports, di ba? So lagyan mo pa na ganun yung mindset. Not only for this issue.
Well, as sports people, syempre, tayo, we're on the side of the athlete. Very, very plain and simple. Talagang, we won't be able to understand why they are stopping a world-class athlete from competing for the country. So, I mean, di ba? I think there were news about other countries trying to recruit.
Yes.
Yes.
And despite that, he's still stuck. He said he was gonna compete for the Philippines. So that in itself, sa akin, without knowing anything else, Obiena talaga ako. I mean, I don't need to learn to know the politics of everything that's going on, because basically it's just politics. What's happening dahil it doesn't make sense. Like, can't you just summon him privately? I think something happened in the background for them to make this a public thing. And how do you expect the Filipino people to actually side with PATAFA as against this guy who has brought glory for the Philippines?
Yes. And very recently pa.
So parang I don't understand. Basta ako basically I'm all for Obiena regardless of the story.
I agree.
For as long as he competes for the Philippines, I don't really care what's happening.
Saka let's face it, it's a sport that not everyone can take up, diba?
Yeah.
Especially sport to.
Did you ever expect a Filipino to be a world-class pole vaulter?
Akala ko javelin. Kasi
Yun.
gawa ko na siya, akala ko javelin.
Javelin rice.
Javelin guys.
Kita mo, di ba may mga ibang athletes na wala na sa atin?
Yun.
Wesley So.
Si Wesley So sa chess, di ba?
Alex Pagulayan. Billiard.
Sasso chose to compete for Japan.
Sasso,
Diba?
Japan.
Sasso, because again, they know that the sports is mixed with politics. Again,
A microcosm.
a microcosm of the government that's happening. Both wisely.
Word of the night, microcosm.
Microcosm. Which is true.
Yes.
Bro.
Which is true. Ako, when this whole thing was happening, ako naisip ko na, kawawa naman talaga ang Pilipino. What crap mentality. They can't stand someone rising, becoming famous. They will always find some way. Di ba, may negative lang. Or parang lang masabi, uy, I had a part in this. Pagkasikat niya, I had a part in this. Whether ibaba niya o iangat niya, meron siyang pipilitin talaga na. It's sad. Wala. I agree with that. Napaka-sad talaga.
Yeah.
Gusto ko sabihin kay Obiena, sige na, lumipat ka lang sa iba para to mapahiya na naman kami ulit. Sanay ng Pilipinas sila na mapahiya.
Tapos mag-medal ka sa Olympics pag di mo na kami rin-represent.
Diba? Grabe.
Tama, alala ko, di ba si Heidi Lin din? Ganon? May issue before?
Nagkaroon siya ng issue.
Nagkaroon siya before maging Olympic champion, di ba? Kung tumigil yun dahil sa politika.
Alam kong issue sa kanya, sinasabi pula siya.
Yung na-red tag siya, di ba? Na-red tag siya.
Na-red tag siya. So, again, without any, microcosm, no proof, no whatever, diba? Diba? No, we don't really know what was happening. Bigla lang, pati ba naman siya. And then suddenly, when nag-champion siya, we have always been behind the 100%. Okay? Sorry kami natatamaan, pero it's sad.
Opinion ng mga
we
tito.
as sports persons, diba? We as sportitos, we will always like
we as sportitos, huwag yun ang pakialaman yung sports.
Let them
sports
play.
ito.
Yeah.
Sports ito,
Ginagawa
sports
niyo
ito.
Suporta tayo.
Let them
Sumusuporta ang sportito. Yeah.
Mga athletes, kailangan ng supporters niyan, di ba?
Oh.
So, suporta tayo.
Questions. Benjas,
Hindi na uso supporters, Gary. Parley, hindi na uso supporters.
Question shorts na naman.
Fans, supporters.
Nung panahon mo, supporter pa. Kami kasi compression shorts. No?
Okay. Yeah.
Tama yan.
Yeah, if it's a matter of liquidation of funds, I think pwede naman magkakaayos yan, di ba?
Excellent
Magkakaayos
question.
ang dalawang panig. Yes.
Kailan ba yung period na hindi pa daw niya naliliquidate? Hindi ako sure. Kaya hindi ko na-mention kanina.
Hindi
Alam niyo
namin
ba?
alam.
Hindi rin namin.
Hindi niyo rin alam?
Ikaw
Kasi
yung
dapat,
researcher namin eh.
Ikaw si article na may nabasa eh.
dapat kuha din ang maghabol kay...
Baka hinahabol sila ng COA. Baka yan. Hinahabol yung PATAFA ng COA.
Pero hindi ko talaga maintindihan bakit ang athlete ang
Yes, dapat meron siya account manager.
Tinanong mo na kanina, hindi rin namin nasagot.
Dapat may account manager siya. Sa totoo lang, dapat may parang manager siya. In that sense.
Hindi meron siyang manager yata per se or coach per se. But still again.
yung coach din na
Actually, it's so weird if you think about it. Diretso ka sa athlete na may foreign coach. Kind of weird.
Problema na nila yun.
Yeah.
Oo nga. Atin.
Yeah, pero yun nga, I mean, it's just important na meron kang nagmamando para alam kung saan pumupunta yung pera. And then, that's the person. Hindi na dapat responsibility ni athlete to be the one to liquidate all of these things. And important din na open yung communication lines ng PATAFA with the athletes. At saka, pwede nyo, like what we've been saying, pwede namang sila yung nag-uusap na lang. Yung umabot pa sa pagsampa ng kaso, di ba? Umabot pa sa pagsampa ng kaso.
Style talaga ng they always make their in public palagi. They always try to gain the public trust muna eh.
Yeah. Parang kumukuha ng simpatya na parang, ay kami yung agrabyado dito, ganyan.
Ganun ang
Again,
style
parang
nila
microcosm.
Microcosm talaga siya. So, yeah, we can only hope na magkaayos kasi medyo maganda yung upward, yung ano ni EJ Obiena. Maganda yung nagiging career.
Saka hindi naman sa yung ibang athletes sa atin, hindi masyadong marunong din gumawa ng mga reports or yung numbers.
Oh.
Diba? Mga hardship cases ng mga athletes. At least, ito millions. Paano, diba? Hindi mo naman alam paano mo niliquidate, ano-anong, diba?
Yeah. It's a microcosm, no? Important lang talaga na may I think that important lang na may magkaroon tayo ng better systems. We can only hope na magkaroon tayo ng better systems, better people. Yeah, better people to help bring more pride for our Filipinos through our athletes. At dyan nagtatapos ang unang episode ng bagong season ng Laro-Laro lang. On behalf of Coach Miron, Noy Africa, Mr. Excited Gary Villanueva, and Dom Romantico Farley Aguila, I am Chief Bisdak Joel Parcon. But before we let you go, I'd like to get the final thoughts of our sportitos. Let's start with Coach Miron.
Yun lang, let the athletes play. That's basically it. And for everyone, please just stay safe. I don't want to make it lengthy because it's all encompassing. Just stay safe and be healthy. Good night.
Yung Mr. Excited?
Basta kung ano meron kayong gagawin, free agency, come up with a new rule or whatever, pag-isipan nyo lang ng maigi bago nyo ilabas sa public. Pag-usapan niyo muna among yourselves kung anong mangyari. It is a microcosm of what's happening to our society. And on that note, I'd like to say, hey, good morning, good evening, hey.
And last but not least, Dom Romantico.
Sa akin, hindi lang to sa sports, no? Ang dami ng problema ng mundo, hindi lang ng Pilipinas. Huwag na dagdagan. Itong pandemic na to, hindi pa natin natatapos. Huwag na natin dagdagan ng mga problema yung sa sports, kung ano-anong mga ganyan. Huwag nyo nang isipin ng sarili nyo, isipin nyo yung mas malawak na pananaw.
Yung.
Mag-ingat po tayong lahat at kung hindi kayo makakatulong sa problema, huwag na kayong dumagdag pa. Good night and Happy New Year.
Amen. Amen. And like I said, I'm Chief Bisdak Joel Parcon. If you enjoyed watching this episode, please like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Until next time, wag ninyo kaming masyadong seryosohin. Laro-laro lang. Good night.